Greetings, Blacklight. This is another message to my subs. Now, we showed you the caveman. That was a little over 4,000 years, we say maybe between 4,000 and 5,000 years ago, when he was in the cave. Spent 2,000 years in the cave. Then we go to the Library of Alexandria, which was burnt down a little over 2,000 years ago. Now, this library, Alexandria, is in Africa. The Greeks, Alexander the Great, discovered this library. We're going to show you Alexander the Great, one of the first Masons, so-called, which are called Masons. Then later, in this video, to my left, right here, where you see my incense is pointed to, the Vatican archives exposed. This is my theory, that during the great fires, the last great fires, the Christians, which were the Romans, stole the books, moved them to the Vatican secret archives, because they caught the burning of the Library of Alexandria caught on fire. I had a video posted that I was going to show you of the Christian involvement in the last burning of the library. The library caught on fire a couple of times, but some kind of way the screen went blank, and I can't find that video. But I found the guy who was in the video, and we're gonna give you just a brief little acknowledgement of what he's talking about.
Of that legendary library, all that survives is this dank and forgotten cellar. It's in the library annex, the Serapeum, which was once a temple, but was later reconsecrated to knowledge. These few moldering shelves, probably once in a basement storage room, are its only physical remains. But this place was once the brain and glory of the greatest city on the planet Earth. If I could travel back into time, this is the place I would visit. The Library of Alexandria at its height 2,000 years ago. Here, in an important sense, began the intellectual adventure which has led us into space. All the knowledge in the ancient world was once within these marble walls. In the Great Hall, there may have been a mural of Alexander.
Now there you see Alexander the Great. We're going to stay here for a minute. You see he's hooked up like a pharaoh. You know. the Greeks studied the ancient Kemites, the Egyptians, and worshiped them as God. That's where you got Hercules and all these Greek gods from. Actually came from Egypt or Kemet. Now, like I told you in the last video, that the Greeks are the Jews who were the first to come out the caves. And they worshiped us. And the Romans, they came and seen the Greeks worshiping us. They came to the Library of Alexandria and burnt the library down. Then they started, when they were so jealous, but they didn't burn all of it. Now they took some of them books and stole it, but they turned into the Romans actually turned into Christians. They was killing the Christians, or those who, they didn't call themselves Christians at one point, but they was actually, what they were doing was studying the original people of the planet, the black man. And so the Romans didn't want that. So Constantine, he took the Bible, changed the Bible up, you know, and now you see that the Vatican is in Rome, and they got all the books in the Vatican and in the Library of Congress. Master Farad came with some books, 103 books for the Honorable Elijah Muhammad to study. Some of them he got Library of Congress. Those books are worth millions of dollars. They're worth more than paintings. They're worth more than gold. Because this is the kind of knowledge you won't get in college. And we got the kind of flavor that will save you. I'm not going to tell you this. In no schools. So young Pharaoh, Polite, Seti, don't none of them lead you like I'm leading you in the right direction. See, when you do your research, you got to know where to go. You got to have a criteria. And somebody got to give you that criteria. If you don't get it from the Nation of Islam, you're not going to get it, because even the Nation of Islam, you're going to have to drop something down in the collection box, keep them lights on. So you paying to get this kind of knowledge, you paying to keep their lights on, and you paying to keep your lights on. But with me, you just keep your lights, just pay your light bill, and it's free. Only thing you got to spend is some time. And the only thing you got to pay is some attention. And then the rest you research on your own to see, am I leading you in the right direction? Because I really think that we can go back to our greatness. If someone don't sell their souls and get bought out, everybody else done got bought out. I'm scared. I ain't scared. But they know that I'm not going to get that many subs and that many views because I'm not popular. And what's popular is not always the truth and not always right. And what's right and true is not always popular. But y'all subs, this is why I'm entitling this another message to my subs. Because it don't take that, that much to win a war. 144,000. You see? And I'm praying that the universe is with me. Y'all call it the universe, I call it Allah. The all in all.
With the crook and flail and ceremonial headdress of the pharaohs of ancient Egypt. This library was a citadel of human consciousness, a beacon.
Okay, now from here, we're going to go to the burning. I'm trying to find the one that they cut me off from about the burning, where they say the Christians burnt it up. And then we're going to go to the Vatican. So I don't know when, but study this video right here and look it up, and you see that Alexandria, the Library of Alexandria, is in Africa. And by the Alexander's headdress, you know that black people was in charge at that time and was schooling. They schooled Moses. Moses was hanging out in Egypt, right? They sent him up to Egypt. They sent Moses to Egypt to get his knowledge, and they sent Isa, Jesus, to Egypt when he had to run from King Herod. Your preachers they don't know what time it is. They don't know what's going on. They only going by the script that the white man gave them. And the Muslim brothers that we got now, they done went to Scientology. So I'm gonna give you the real deal. I hope I had that kind of appeal. But if you can't dig it, do something else. Because I'm going to make it do what it do. Black light.